Oksweni komo o chain so ha AG politics abedi. And run it be exomo our house ye former buffer stock CEO. Waje a year permission free court or say oko UK akwa yen tutuye na ya channel based on a yen account a year court a freezer or try so which me a yiska na ene due a year deputy Attorney General just extreme size bit me adding evidence akwa court na kwadu bia o bia no so court agina so edi abono na mesho say mu wan simni na yenhwede ko ani dia ba it politics up.
We are not to determine the veracity or otherwise of evidence that the Attorney General would submit before the law courts. It is the law courts that will do so. And the former AG ought to know that if he needs evidence of the allegations being thrown against Mr. Hanan Alodiba, it is not the granting of interview that will give him that evidence. Today, when they appear in court, the Attorney General office would present the evidence in court, and he is allowed to contest that evidence.
You're saying he will present?
Yes.
So does it mean you are aware that there's some evidence?
Absolutely.
Okay, you are.
Absolutely,
okay.
There is evidence to the effect that there was an attempt to access the accounts. But as to whether or not the court would determine that these evidence are indeed strong or weightier enough to even warrant a review of the earlier grant of permission to travel, that is solely a decision for the court to take. And that point needs to be made. Bella, you see, when I listened to the former AG, I was worried, and that is that if Anan is listening, or any of his family members are listening, even the choice of the Godfred Adami as counsel is not strategic.
How?
Oh, he comes with a lot of baggage.
Oh, come on.
He comes with, you see in politics and in law, even in determining your representation, you must be meticulous and you must consider all other factors as to whether indeed the choice of counsel will help your case. It is critical. And in terms of ethics, it raises also another fundamental issue. It is the same Godfred Dami who told us in that interview that he has been denied access to his client. And you know our ethics counsel. So on what basis has he already proceeded to indicate that the client did not attempt to have access to the accounts? How did he get that information? If you are already out there denying on behalf of your client, and you have not spoken with your client according to you, because you were denied access, so on what basis are you putting up a defense of denial in terms of a claim that he attempted to access the account? On what basis?
He's been in touch with his clients prior to the attempted travel. So what if he's aware of every move this client may have made?
Yes, I am telling you that, but until this arrest, he did not know that the state was onto him. And that maybe the state had information that there was an attempted access of his, what's the name of the bank? Republic Bank account. Yes. That's the assumption. Because he says that he has not spoken to the client. And we all got wind of the information when the Attorney General announced publicly that indeed they had to pick up Mr. Hanan Alodiba on the basis of A, B, C, and D. Yes. And my question is, as legal counsel, and this is where ethics comes to play, you have not spoken to your client. Whether your client attempted to access it or not, you do not know. So why are you putting your client in the box by jumping to put up a defense when you have not had access of engaging your client, according to you? Or counsel, I'm lying. It is critical.
Okay.
Because your job is to listen to your client and advise appropriately.
But what
and give him all the legal options.
What he says, and quickly so I can come to Fifi, what he says is that the charges for the initial, arrest were dropped. And a new set of charges were leveled against him. And so clearly, per the way the courts work, if charges are dropped, everything else that's related to that charge should also be dropped as well, including the freezing of his bank accounts. So unless there was a new application at the High Court to have his accounts frozen all over again, it doesn't stand if the Deputy Attorney General says that his accounts are frozen.
That is a different legal argument to make in court. All what I'm telling you is that you do not proceed to put up a denial of.
But that's what he's relating to this and saying that.
No. He said that there was no attempt. If you are saying that he is allowed to access his accounts And even if he accesses his account, he doesn't see anything wrong with that. That's a different defense. But he is telling you that there was no such attempt to access the account. Play the interview again. If his argument is that even if he attempted to access that account, nothing prevents him from doing so because per my interpretation or understanding of the law, the accounts are not frozen as we speak.
I think he made that argument also.
No, but I'm telling you that the fundamental argument he made was to the effect that, look, the man did not attempt to access the account.
But he linked it to the fact that if that's the case, in fact, as it stands now, his accounts are not frozen because there's been no application in the court of law to have those accounts frozen.
I am saying
so
that
I get you, but I'm just saying he
categorical
linked
statement that there was no such attempt is
but
problematic
he linked
and ethically
it to the issue
faulty.
of having
And to
his
the issue
accounts
of
not
the grant,
frozen at the moment.
we all know that even the FIC is allowed, I think, a 7-day window to freeze court accounts. What's the name? Accounts without a court order. After which they are allowed to go to court to see. What's the name? Court order to ensure that the accounts remain. And
should the person involved be made aware that his accounts are frozen?
Yes.
He should be made aware.
Yes.
In this case, was Hernandez,
in relation to the, I don't have the information in relation to the court granting or waiver in terms of, simply because of the fact that the Attorney General withdrew the earlier charges meant also that any other consequential order that was given in relation to the accounts. I do know, as a matter of fact, that even before charges are brought, the Attorney General can go to court and secure a court order to freeze an account. And if subsequently the Attorney General goes to court on the charges, my understanding of the law is that it is independent of the charges that are brought. And so even if the Attorney General finally withdraws the charges, it does not automatically mean that the court order has been vacated. You would have to go through processes to vacate that court order.
Oh, I see. Okay. Let me bring Fifi in to find out if that process...
I said that.
Okay. Did they go through that process?
Yes, so this is a ruling of the Adenta Court, and I wish to read this portion. And this is the judge speaking. Indeed, the applicant was cautioned on 30th of June 2025, and the administrative freeze was issued on the 29th of August 2025. During investigation, it was common knowledge that the Attorney General has since 5th May 2026 withdrawn all charges against the applicant, leading to his discharge by the High Court of Accra. It is also common knowledge that the applicant has since been rearrested. The development has a direct effect on the present application because following the withdrawal of the charges against the applicant, the freezing order was automatically discharged.
So who is saying this?
This is the judge.
This is the judge.
This is the judge.
Okay, the ruling from the court.
This is the ruling of the court, and this is the Justice Kwame Jemfi Osei.
Okay.
This is his ruling. So the question is, why would you still say that the man has erred, even if he tried withdrawing money from his account? This is the ruling of the court. And let me correct a certain impression Hamza was trying to make. I believe that what Godfred has done in the legal profession is trite. There's no argument about his competence as a lawyer. I believe it is trite that Godfred is a very good lawyer to have any day to represent a client, and I do not think that we should get into this conversation of questioning why someone will opt to have Godfred as his lawyer. Let me also state that, yes, the argument Godfred has made is one. His information is that his client did not attempt to make a withdrawal from the account. And two, even if that was the case, the ruling of the courts does not make that an offense, because after all, the Attorney General has started a new legal action against him, and if the decision of the Attorney General is to get the assets frozen, then the Attorney General ought to take action and get a decision to back that action. So if you've not done that, why would you do this? And you see, I wasn't too comfortable with how Apia Dankwa was proceeding by saying MPP, MPP, MPP. MPP as a political party is not in court.
Yeah.
MPP as a political party is not in court.
Yeah.
This is an individual called Hanan Abdul Wahab. You are dealing with an individual just like any ordinary Ghanaian on the streets of Ghana. So if you are treating him as a member of the NDC, then it's problematic.
A member of MPP.
A member of MPP. That is problematic because he's just a Ghanaian. Because the moment you add political color to a crime, then it becomes problematic. Becomes NDC against MPP. Okay. This is not a matter of NDC against MPP. This is an individual.
But he held position in office as a member of the MPP. Shouldn't that count?
But he's not in court because he held his MPP. He's in court because the Attorney General assumes that he has committed an act against the laws of our country. Because the moment you add political color, then it becomes a political banter. It's not a matter of politics. It is a matter of a law, somebody acting right or not. So I do not think that we should start attaching political colors. And usually in this country, that's what we do. When there's an issue, instead of addressing the issue as to whether or not somebody has done something right or not, we decide to add political color. So even if you do not even know the facts of it, the mere fact that the person is a member of your political party, you start defending.
Yeah.
And even if the person has done something wrong, yes, it's my party member, so let me defend. I do not think that we should add political color to an offense.
So in your case here, speaking on this matter, you are here representing the MPP, and you are speaking on a matter that involves an individual.
Yes,
who's Ghanaian.
He is Ghanaian.
So is that not a political color in a sense? No,
it is not. I am speaking based on information I have. I will not say that if it is just because I'm MPP and Hanan is MPP, I will just say that he's done. In fact, the court, even every action against him is wrong. They should just allow the gentleman to go and all that because it's a political matter. It is not. I am speaking based on information available. Yes, and you see, what we should note is that relationships in this country goes beyond political color. Somebody may be a friend to Hanan. Someone may be his church member. Someone may have lived in the same house with Hanan growing up. He will have a certain relationship with him. So you should not reduce every conversation in our country to politics. Because the moment you reduce it to politics, then it loses the real issues to a political matter.
Is the CEO of the National Food Buffer Stock Company not a political office?
No, it is a state office. It's not a political
state office, but who appoints the CEO?
You know, there are people who have held, and that is why we have reduced everything in this country to politics. I believe that President Mahama today should be able to look around and say that I believe Bella can occupy this position and serve a country well. You must not necessarily be a member of the NDC.
Is Hanan a member of the MPP?
Yes, he is a member of the MPP.
Okay.
And I am just saying that the fact that someone occupied a political office does not mean that he should be treated because he's MPP. Because if it is MPP, then the Attorney General is NDC, so it is me against you. It is a political banter.
But he's a member of the MPP. He was appointed by the President.
The Attorney General,
who before becoming President was the flag bearer of the MPP. So it's a political office.
So the Attorney General is prosecuting NDC agenda. Is that what he's doing? I don't think so. The Attorney General is working according to the law. And that is what Article 88 of our Constitution enjoins him to do. He's not there to serve NDC interests. He's there to serve the interests of Ghana. Yes, the NDC as a political party is there. The NDC will perform its role. As you don't get here and call at the party office, will perform their role as party executives. But people who have been appointed to serve in government, they serve government, they don't serve political parties. And that is the distinction we must get. Right.
Okay, okay. I get you.
I think that today it is Hanan. People may think that, well, it is Hanan, so let's hang him. But it is important to realize that Hanan is just an individual in the state. Today, if you support it, if you justify it, if you rationalize it, it becomes a precedent in our country when tomorrow another person is taken through such an unlawful means of punishing an individual. It becomes a precedent, and we must not encourage that.
Fifi, let me just ask you quickly before we move on to counsel. So, of course, based on that ruling, we now have a clear understanding that his accounts were unfrozen.
That's
right?
the claim.
Yes. That's the ruling of the
that's
court.
what you read.
Yeah.
So at this point, you're saying they should provide evidence. Of course, you're also reiterating what Godfrey Dam is saying, that evidence should be provided by the Deputy Attorney General that he withdrew money from his account. Are you saying then that he did not withdraw at all, or are you saying he did, but it is from an account that's unfrozen? I need to understand that.
Okay, so my information which the briefing I have received is that he did not make the attempts. And I'm making the point that even if he did, it does not in any way constitute an offense based on the ruling the court gave.
So he didn't use someone to try to withdraw as well?
We do not have that information.
Okay.
And you see, the Attorney General, bear in mind, earns salary for my taxes and your taxes. The Attorney General, he works for us as Ghanaians. So if the Attorney General is making any statement, we must demand of him to provide evidence to back that statement. So it goes beyond just prosecuting an act. This is an employee of the state. An employee of the state, you have a responsibility to the people.
Okay. Counsel, let me bring you on this matter because he's given us that ruling as well. So does this change the dynamics of the situation?
Well, not
if indeed the accounts were unfrozen.
Not for me, because I think and I'm sure my brother here didn't listen to what I said earlier, because what he's saying was exactly what I said. I brought MPP in because I'm saying that in spite of all the
allow him. He didn't interject.
No.
He didn't interject.
When they're speaking,
so
I
please
wanted
allow
to
him.
interject, please.
No. That's unfair. You made a statement directly to him, and he's responding to it.
As in, when you were speaking, I didn't agree with what you were saying, but I kept quiet. So please keep quiet and listen to me. You see, the fact I was alluding to was simply that, in spite of all the negativity the MPP gave us, in spite of their lack of commitment to the principles of the rule of law they showed us when they were governing, in spite of the weaponization, you understand, of the system and the law under their watch, you understand. I'm saying that our fidelity should always be to the Constitution, and it should not matter whether or not the persons at the end of a process are from their stock. It shouldn't matter, because at the end they are Ghanaians, and because our fidelity always must be to the Constitution, they must be accorded all the constitutional rights, and we must follow all the constitutional precedents we all agree to. So what he was saying really, for me, suggests that he didn't listen to what I was saying. But having said that, I listened to my brother Sweeney. On point of law, yes, I agree with his view that even in spite of an order of the court where you commit an offense, or an order of a court does not mean an immunity against crime or against arrest. I agree with that. But having said that, my view was premised on the belief that I don't believe that Hadan had committed a crime post the order. And I think this reading even reaffirms that position. Because you see, we must not give an impression that we are weaponizing the system to go after our political opponents. That would be reaffirming the very bad governance Nanado and his government gave us. The terrible governance that a reason why we put them out of office. And that's what I meant by the reset agenda also means that we must reaffirm our commitment to the tenets of our Constitution. I do not think that the current president does not have commitment to our Constitution. I don't think so. But what I'm saying is that
we in some who team course or channel so I'm not so general. As an so bad in the issue.